everyone, and I hope we all remember Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny because we have recently gotten a bit of Behind the Magic. If you don't know, it's an amazing YouTube channel that does Behind the Magic, behind the scenes of CGI in movies, and they've recently done Indiana Jones 5, and I want to go over it because I think it's very interesting, and it shows why this budget was so much damn money. Alright, so we start off with the beginning, the de-aging tech. So we see that they, obviously, from the thing, they have a bunch of clips of Harrison Ford throughout the Indy films. They put that in on the face over the 81-year-old Harrison Ford. Then they use more CGI to imprint that face and sculpt it basically around the body to de-age him. And then, bam! They change the lighting and everything. They change it, they affect it to where it looks like a melting wax statue. I mean, de-aged Harrison Ford. So, yeah. So that's how that turned out. I think that probably costed quite a bit. I wouldn't actually know. But I think that's... I don't know. It's really cool that VFX artists were able to do this. And they worked hard because in a lot of scenes, counting the one that they're showing right here, the CGI does not look horrendous at all. I actually think it looks quite good. But then, there are scenes that didn't really have to be CGI. Like, they full-on recreated these areas in CGI. Like, remember, like, this shot right here? Like, yeah, like, where there's a bunch of cars, and he's just now walked out of, like, the, like, castle area. Yeah. So, that was all CGI, computer animated. No, it looks really good in the movie. The VFX artists were top notch for this film. They worked their asses off, if that makes sense for getting my drift. It looks amazing, and I think it's interesting to show how they did this. So they had like this, like, you know, this black and white little print thing right here. And then they polished it and everything to make it look real. Like we can see right here, full-on VFX, full-on computer animated, all that. Everything from wherever that is back there, car, to all of this over here. Interesting. But then, there's also this. So remember the scene where Indy was being hanged by the Nazis because he was making fun of Hitler? Yeah, so when he was doing this, well, alright, so there was actually another behind-the-scenes thing that showed the behind-the-scenes for Indiana Jones 5 in 3 different parts. I believe it was on the Blu-ray release of the movie, but I'm not sure. On that, it showed in the hanging scene that they used fans, wood chips, and they fling them up in the air, and it actually looked really good. Most of it was real, but they put CGI over it to add effect to it, I guess. I don't know. So this is what it looks like without it. And then again, the computer animated, they add in all of the effects. Obviously, all the surroundings right here are computer animated, so they can add the extra depth into the floor because obviously it's just a blue screen right there. But here, it goes farther, like it's multiple floors. So that's pretty interesting. I'm doing this because I love Indiana Jones. I love the Indiana Jones 5 movie, and I love the VFX, and I think it's so interesting. So, after this, remember when he's on the train? Yeah, so a lot of this was computer animated. Right here, this is probably what I'm going to end up using for the thumbnail. This shot right here, because I think it looks really cool. So, they have all of these guys. So, like, we have this full-on set right here. We have this dude. So I want to go over this exact shot right here. Okay, so we have the train, and since they're not filming outside, we have the blue screen, and we have all the soldiers on the side. But then over here we have the fan creating the effect that it's super windy because the train's going super fast and they're climbing on the side. I want to learn how to climb on the side of trains. That looks so cool. I mean, obviously it was fake, but I don't know. I thought it was cool. Yeah, so that was all. So then they would add another coating of CGI, which added like the extra effects and the surroundings and all that. Then right here, of course, this is CGI, but they did build a little bit of the set, which is cool. Everything. Still VFX breakdown. And then right here, this is all CGI down to the people. And if you remember in the scene, this looks so good. So many of these scenes, people give the film crap for the horrendous CGI. If you look at this VFX breakdown, like all through it, you see what they did, and you realize it really isn't horrible. Because like it's not bad at all. I mean, they actually put really good work in it. If you see what actually was CGI, and then you look back at the film, the CGI isn't half bad, and it was probably super expensive. That's probably why it had a $300 million budget. Anyhow, so we already went over that. This was literally just for the sky. To be honest, they could have filmed that outside, but hey, drive up that budget. It's Disney, right? Turn it from this to this. Cool. I mean, they probably could have filmed that outside, but whatever. And then this is skipping a little bit in the movie, probably like an hour or two. We have the bit where they're going off to go back in time. And I remember seeing somebody talk about this movie and saying at the end that when Helen's trying to get onto the plane, that the best way to mask CGI is to make it a really dark environment so so it's hard to tell anything, whether it's real or fake. That's exactly what they did here. And you just see how this entire plane was CGI. And if you look at the other VFX breakdown, the Blu-ray release of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, you can see how, for some shots, they actually did build the front of this plane. But it's kind of interesting to just go through this and everything, because it's just so cool. So yeah, that is the VFX breakdown of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I think it's so cool to go through, break down the CGI of this movie, since there's just so much to go over and comb over and everything. That's just so freaking awesome. But yeah, if you want to go through this yourself, you should go onto YouTube. You should go into your search and you should look up Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny Behind the Magic Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny Behind the Magic VFX breakdown, and you will find the video. It is so good. I will link it in the description if I can. I will link the channel in the description since they do amazing work. And yeah, this basically covers everything I wanted to talk about today. If you all enjoyed this video or any of my other content, please consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.